Ladies and gentlemen, this is Union Wrestling, and you're about to see an hour of the best grappling action from the UK. Welcome back, grappling fans, to another episode of Union Wrestling TV, here on Union Wrestling's YouTube channel. We welcome you back. We do apologise for not being able to bring weekly content on a Saturday afternoon in the last couple of weeks. We will be rectifying that over the next 2 or 3 weeks, bringing you extra content to catch up. In the meantime, we have a match today between Karl Lawson and Thomas Williams. There's been a bit of dishonest arguments between the two, and it started 7 weeks ago when Karl Lawson failed to upkeep his promise of a prize fund, a prize purse to anyone who could beat him. Here is the recap from 7 weeks ago, and we'll see how all of this began.
Shut your mouth. So, what I am going to do tonight is I'm going to treat everybody here to something a little bit special, because I know as a fine Yorkshireman that I can beat anybody in this building tonight. In fact, not only am I that confident, I'll put £100 of my own money on the line tonight. In fact, I'll tell you what, we'll up the ante.
Just to clarify, hang on. Are you trying to bet that you can beat anyone here for £100?
Come on, Dad, you take him out.
Absolutely. You know what? I am feeling a little bit froggy tonight. What I'm going to do is I will bet £200 that I can beat 2 men from backstage. So, if there is any 2 men that is brave enough.
And after Karl Lawson issued that challenge, 2 men from the back, 2 wrestlers did answer that challenge, and those 2 men were Thomas Williams and Lee Daniels.
From Barnsley, 6'4", 17 stone, Lawson! And his opponent, 1 from Mull, Thomas Williams, 1 from Stockport, Lee Daniels. This is a 1-fall to the finish contest, but you 2 will have to tag. So both of you can't be at the same time, you have to tag.
These men then proceeded to have a very, very exciting wrestling bout that was predominantly dominated by Karl Lawson, but in the closing moments of that match, this is what happened.
Keep it going, keep it going. One more.
Then after Karl Lawson lost to Thomas Williams and Lee Daniels, Karl Lawson proceeded to claim that their win was not valid due to the use of the top rope, and that their public warnings should have counted against them, and he did not owe the £200 to both Thomas Williams and Lee Daniels. Karl Lawson then proceeded to leave the arena to go straight to the backstage to pick his bags up and leave in his car. He continues to refute this, though under the rules by Marty Jones and the Wrestling Commission, he has been forced to return tonight to face the consequences of his actions. Here we are tonight with Karl Lawson having to return for a double or quits match.
Before we introduce the next wrestler, last time you were here, Karl, you made a bet with one Thomas Williams and a young Lee Daniels, who's currently injured at the moment. You bet them £200 that you could beat them. You lost, and what you did was you ran away. back because I thought that was a disgusting thing to do. I thought you were cheap, underhanded, and a little bit devious on that side. Yeah, slightly. So we weren't going to have you back, but then Thomas Williams came around to me the other day and he said, I want to have another go. I want another go at Karl because he wants his money. He is a chippy, absolutely, absolutely. And the only way we've been able to get him back here is through double or quits. So just tell us, with double or quits, what have you offered Tom?
4 full £100.
Or
Nothing at all.
but only if you beat Tom. Do you think Tom can beat Karl? Do you everyone here thinks Tom's going away with 400 quid. Haven't you got 400 quid on you? Don't be doing what you did last time. It's backstage, right?
I assure you it's in my bag.
You can't pay me the money! Oh my God,
We'll be back right after this with the double or quits match. Karl Lawson versus Thomas Williams.
Right, we'll see. Right then, shall we bring Tom out?
I'm Jesse Dynamite, and you need to like, share and subscribe to Union Wrestling. Why? Because you're going to see me in action. I'm the best wrestler in the British Isles, and you're going to see exactly why. So like, share, subscribe.
Then commence wrestling!
And here we go, Grapple fans. It's our first match of tonight's programme. Thomas Williams out of the blue corner, hailing from Ardwythgrig in North Wales. And Karl Lawson out of the red corner from Doncaster. The much bigger wrestler is Karl Lawson at about 6'2", around 17 stone, against the very much lightweight competitor wrestler Thomas Williams, trained under the watchful eye of Marty Jones. Marty Jones being a prominent wrestling teacher in the world of sport era. Now, waistlock by Thomas Williams, broken immediately by Karl Lawson. So Karl Lawson in this match has put up £400. Double or quits. Karl Lawson must win this match to clear his debt. If he doesn't clear his debt, he doesn't win the match, Thomas Williams is entitled to £400 of Karl Lawson's money. And a front drop kick there by Thomas Williams, sending Karl Lawson to the mat. Front face headlock applied to Karl Lawson, driving the air out and grounding the big wrestler. Sound strategy there by Thomas Williams. And of course later on in tonight's programme we do have Beat the Champion tournament. It's Slim Jim Brennan, the champion, going against challenger Frankie Sloan. And as we saw in last week's programme, Slim Jim Brennan, oh, lovely snapmare by Thomas Williams, and a roll up. That could be a 3 count, but no, a rope break. Slim Jim tonight will be going for either the win against Frankie Sloan to win the £1,000, or if he loses, he leaves with nothing and Frankie Sloan takes his place as Beat the Champion. Could Frankie Sloan win the match against Slim Jim Brennan and go on to win £2,000, or does Slim Jim take the glory tonight? We'll find out later. And Thomas Williams there, certainly a grounded wrestling attack, manipulating the arm of Karl Lawson. That's definitely the teachings of Marty Jones. Quite prominent, but brute strength and force there by Karl Lawson. Reverses into a top wrist armbar, driving that elbow the wrong way. But a great little reversal by Thomas Williams. Sees Karl Lawson back in a predicament. Single leg takedown and a step over toe hold.
1 minute left to round 1. 1 minute to go.
Karl Lawson wrenching the ankle of Thomas Williams. Round and a straight drop down to the knee of Thomas Williams. Bending that knee and ankle. A very painful hold there, and can Thomas Williams hang on? I don't think he knows where he is in the ring. He could reach back and grab the ropes, but maybe that's our perception from the camera angle there. And hopefully not too much damage has been caused to the knee of Thomas Williams here. It looks very painful hold, and there Thomas now grabs the ropes. Referee Melina Cole breaking the hold, making sure that the rules of wrestling are upheld here. But this is uncalled for. This is very uncalled for. Melina Cole there allowing Karl Lawson to get away with slight bending of the rules there. He should be allowing his man to get up. But there we go. We will be back right after this for round 2.
What I need you to do, I need you to like, share and subscribe. Oh yeah!
And welcome back to round 2. Thomas Williams versus Karl Lawson. Score is still 0-0 in round 2. Round 1, technical ability certainly goes to Thomas Williams, but brute strength definitely goes to Karl Lawson. And as we saw in the break there between rounds, a little message for subscribing to the channel. We do thank each and every one of you returning to our YouTube channel. We do hope you enjoy the content. Give us a like on the video if you do like our content. It is much appreciated. It does help the channel, and we do hope that the channel grows to all wrestling fans across the world. But if you do want to keep in touch with us, there is also our Instagram page and Facebook page to keep up to date with everything Union Wrestling. And a forearm to the face of Thomas Williams there, straight to the eyes. The point of the elbow has been dug into the eyes of Thomas Williams. I think Karl Lawson, and the point of the elbow into the kidneys. I think there could be a possibility that Karl Lawson is already feeling like his wrestling ability is lesser than that of Thomas Williams in order to do this. You'd have thought with Karl Lawson being such a bigger wrestler than Thomas Williams that he could just use normal wrestling manoeuvres to win the day. But as we just seen there, a hip toss by Thomas Williams showing that he is the better wrestler than Karl Lawson, possibly and most definitely due to the teachings of former 7-time world champion MARTY Jones, who sat in the corner judging tonight's proceedings. And a forearm to the chest, bending Thomas Williams' back the wrong way and driving the air out of Thomas Williams' lungs. Gotta say, it isn't unexpected that these are the tactics of Karl Lawson. And again, the elbow, the point of the forearm, the blade of the forearm running across the eyes of Thomas Williams, rendering Thomas almost blind to what's going on. And of course, currently serving a suspension is Joshua Kemper after what we saw a few weeks ago, and the decision of MARTY Jones and the Wrestling Commission sees Josh Kemper, an earlier 3 count there, only a 2, sees Josh Kemper still suspended from all wrestling action. Hopefully we'll get word from Joshua Kemper in future weeks to see if there will be retribution from Slim Jim Brennan towards Joshua Kemper. Only time will tell on that one. And a big clothesline by Karl Lawson. Thomas Williams' carcass just been splattered to the mat with that massive clothesline. But Thomas Williams being able to kick out just shows you the strength and courage of such a young and
20 seconds to go.
A wrestler who's at a massive disadvantage to such a big, imposing figure as Karl Lawson. Referee Melina Cole needs to be able to get a hold of the rules of this match.
10 seconds.
We're 10 seconds out. We're at the end of round 2. It doesn't look like Either wrestler's going to get a pinfall in this round. So, we'll be back right after this message.
Round 2, to your corners, seconds in.
Hello Grapple fans, come and see a night of international professional wrestling in Wrexham on Friday 8th of August at the Havard Colliery Social Centre in Horst Llanachrigog. See the top stars of Union Wrestling including Joshua Kemper, the British heavy middleweight champion Slim Jim Brennan, Tommy Jupiter, Jesse Dynamite and many more. Tickets are available now at unionwrestling.co.uk. The price of a ticket is of the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge. Get your tickets now! And we're back here for round 3. Score is 0-0. And if you do want to see the stars of Union Wrestling and you're in the Wrexham area, the land of Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool and Wrexham AFC, the newly promoted championship team, then get down to Horst Llanachrigog in the Colliery Community Centre on August 8th. We'll be looking forward to see you there. Tickets are available now at unionwrestling.co.uk. And a big slam sends Thomas Williams to the mat. Karl Lawson picking Thomas Williams up like there was nothing to it. And a reverse clutch hold. Bending the back of Thomas Williams. Wrench in the back of the neck. This could be an absolute submission by Thomas Williams. He's struggling. He can't get a hold of the ropes. The pressure on the back of the neck. But Thomas Williams' resiliency ensures that there is no submission and no fruition to Karl Lawson's attempts there. And Thomas Williams struggling to pick himself up, needing the assistance of the ropes. The pain in the back of his neck and his lower back could be at cause from that move and the brutal stomps by Karl Lawson. Karl Lawson, a big man from Doncaster. Proud Yorkshireman he is. And I think this might be a case of the Yorkshireman across the border
round 3, 2 minutes gone,
showing his wrestling strength, ability and prowess on one of Marty Jones's trainees. The former trainee of Marty Jones, Thomas Williams is. And I think Karl Lawson is trying to make a point here. Sending him into the ropes. Tries to get him with that big clothesline again, but Thomas Williams comes back with a big clothesline of his own. The back elbow, sending Karl Lawson down to the floor. And is he going to suplex him? No, neck breaker. Neck breaker. Sends Karl Lawson sideways. But only a 2 count. Thomas Williams wasting time here. He should be straight back on him. But allowing Karl Lawson a little bit of time to get up. And a DDT! DDT! Karl Lawson's head slammed into the mat. And again! And again a reverse leg drop. And that's the 3 count! First fall goes to Thomas Williams!
3! With the first fall!
And we'll be back right after this message.
Seconds into your corners.
You're watching Union Wrestling on YouTube with the loser.
Seconds out.
And with one fall in favour of Thomas Williams as we go into round 4, the very possibility of Karl Lawson losing £400 is potentially imminent. Those manoeuvres that Thomas Williams got Karl Lawson down for the pinfall were absolutely superb. But Karl Lawson starting round 4, backing Thomas into the corner. I would say closed fist to the gut there, and I think Melina Cole is very kind. That roll up, but only a 2 count. Melina Cole's very kind then, not giving a public warning. And a second potential pinfall, and could this be a thing? Could this be the 3? No. Thomas Williams doing everything he can. He knows he's only 3 seconds away from a possible £400 win. Back elbows to the back of the head of Thomas Williams into the bear hug. Karl Lawson squeezing all of the air out of Thomas Williams' lungs, driving the air out. And if you drive the air out of any athlete, there's less oxygen to the muscles, and then fatigue sets in. Almost immediate fatigue will set in, and you can see Thomas Williams is struggling there to gain his breath, and immediately Karl Lawson digging those shoulders into the gut of Thomas Williams, further driving the oxygen out of his small body, in all fairness. Melina Cole reading the rules to Karl Lawson to get Thomas out of the corner. That is a legal move. It's a forearm. It is legal. It's the closed fist that isn't. And what's Karl Lawson doing here? He's perched Thomas Williams up on the top of the rope. I'm picking Thomas up. Both of them in a very awkward position here. A dangerous position. They could go any way. And let's hope they don't fall out the ring on the audience. But oh! Karl Lawson falling backwards. A silly manoeuvre by Karl Lawson. Thomas Williams within the confines of the ropes. He's within bounds. And a crossbody, but Karl Lawson, the bigger man, catching Thomas Williams up as though he's nothing. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh, what was that? And a 3 count by Karl Lawson. Gives the equalising fall. And Karl Lawson is 1 fall closer to admonishing all debts. We'll be back right after this message, grappling fans.
Come on, guys, like, share, and subscribe.
Round 5.
And this match is going the distance. We are 1-1 at round 5 with a possible 6 rounds. And I think Thomas Williams has been worn down in the last couple of rounds. You can see him holding his back there. And that's because Karl Lawson has been focusing on the ribs and the airways, on the lungs of Thomas Williams, hopefully driving the oxygen out. But it looks like Thomas Williams has got a second wind, and he's going for the suplex on Karl Lawson, but that back is not allowing him to do it. And in all fairness to Thomas Williams, I think with the back injury that he's been sustaining in this match, I don't think he would, in normal circumstances, be able to suplex a far bigger wrestler like Karl Lawson. Maybe a foolish attempt there by Thomas Williams. And I think Karl Lawson is using his nails to dig into the back of Thomas Williams. Melina Cole should be really focusing on how he's delivering that manoeuvre. As from this angle, you can quite clearly see it is not a strike. He is dragging his nails across the back of Thomas Williams. And absolutely, it looks like the audience, they have noticed, they have seen that. They have seen that, but Melina Cole hasn't. Front face headlock by Karl Lawson. Is he going to go for a suplex? Can he get Thomas Williams up? He's trying. Oh my gosh! Thomas Williams does get the suplex! Thomas Williams does get the suplex on Karl Lawson! He sends him right over onto his back. Pardon me. Get the 3 count, Thomas. He needs to get the 3 count in order to... And he gets pushed off. The pinfall.
2 count.
And it was that delay in Thomas Williams being able to get the cover over Karl Lawson after that massive suplex. And for Thomas Williams to be able to haul a man of 17 stone over his shoulders onto his back, that was a massive feat by the man from Mould. And he's going for his reverse leg drop. But now the roll up by Karl Lawson. And Karl Lawson's feet are up on the ropes. Karl Lawson's feet were up on the ropes.
2 minutes, 49 seconds of round 5.
Unbelievable. Karl Lawson picking up the victory based on blatant cheating. Well, that's it. That's the end of the match. We'll be back after this.
I'm Jesse Dynamite, and you need to like, share and subscribe to Union Wrestling. Why? Because you're going to see me in action. I'm the best wrestler in the British Isles, and you're going to see exactly why. So like, share, subscribe.
And we return after very poor sportsmanship from Karl Lawson. But Judge Marty Jones has something to say about the end of that match. We'll go to Marty.
Back and he had his feet on the bottom rope.
Absolutely, Marty Jones seed it. So did the crowd.
He had his feet on the bottom rope.
Melina Cole saying she didn't see it.
Continues or he forfeits the contest.
And that's it. Marty Jones has reversed the decision of the last pinfall, meaning this match continues.
Alright, this match continues, and if he
Commissionaire Marty Jones from the British and European Wrestling Commission blatantly seen what had just happened, reversed the last pinfall decision, and is giving Karl Lawson to the count of 10 to return to the ring, or the match is forfeited. He could lose this. This is £400. And that's it. Karl Lawson has lost £400. £400 prize money goes to Thomas Williams. Unbelievable. What scenes we're seeing here today. If you would like to raise money for your school, club or civic group, and you'd like to see the excitement of Union Wrestling live in your hometown, then this message is for you. School PTAs, sports societies and teams, PE departments, civic groups or any groups wishing to raise money, then bring the stars of Union Wrestling to your town for a night of top-class wrestling action and receive a percentage of the gate. Email us with your inquiry at info@unionwrestling.co.uk for more information. Union Wrestling and your group, an unbeatable tag team. And we've been told Karl Lawson has yet again picked up his bag and left the hole in his car. But here we've got the main event tonight. It's Beat the Champions Leg 5, and this is what happened last week when we asked Slim Jim Brennan what would happen in his 5th leg match. Will he take the £1,000 or go to leg 6? Let's see what he said.
I'm not going to tell you it's 100% because it still hurts, but it's been a long month recovery. Been doing a lot of stretching, physio, the rest of it, and I'm feeling alright, good enough to beat Frankie Sloan.
But not 100%. But you are going to go after Frankie Sloan.
I'm going to beat Frankie Sloan.
And that's the main event tonight. Slim Jim against Frankie Sloan.
Just to inform you.
But then Marty had this to say.
A long time. And you're on with a veteran tonight, but don't underestimate him. Please don't underestimate him. If these people go into the record books and have a look, Frankie Sloan has been around a long time. So get that right. With his support and get your mind right, hopefully we will see you against Kemper back in this ring. Okay?
When Joshua Kemper ends his ban, potentially we could see Slim Jim versus Joshua Kemper.
When his ban comes to an end.
Absolutely.
He says yes.
Kemper, there's a camera up there, I hope he sees this. I ain't forgot about you. I already beat you once. That time it was business. This time around, it's personal.
Okay. That one we'll see down the road, but
can't wait for that one.
You've got Frankie Sloan to try and beat tonight. You've already said you've got a bad neck. My question to you, if you win tonight, are you going for the £1,000 or are you going to double and gamble it on next month on March 2nd and try and beat a 6th opponent for £2,000? And before you make your decision, what does everybody here think he should do? Take the money or gamble for next month? What about you? He says gamble, the accountant says gamble. Right, what are you going to do?
He would.
So what's your decision? What are you going to do tonight if you win?
Well, I'm afraid I'm sorry to let you all down, but I need that money. I didn't come this far to lose it all. That £1,000, I'm going to do a lot with it.
Or like what? What are you going to do with it?
Well, hopefully, I'm planning to take my mother away. You know, she's been taking care of me for a long time. You know, she deserves it. But
So hang on, just before you go that far. So you're saying that you're going to take the money. If you win tonight, you're going to take the money and then treat your mum to a holiday somewhere nice.
That's right.
Ladies and gentlemen, how nice is that? So that's what you're fighting for tonight. That's what you're going for. He's going to take the £1,000 tonight if he wins, and you're going to take your mum on holiday to somewhere nice. And I know you've been having some trouble there, but hopefully you might, with just a little bit of strength and courage, go against Frankie Sloan. Frankie Sloan, by the way, I do know the fella. Don't turn your back on him.
Right
for a
then,
second.
we've got Slim Jim Brennan versus Frankie Sloan for the Beat the Champion
Ladies and
title.
gentlemen, Slim
Up
Jim
next,
Brennan.
right after this message. Come back, ladies and gentlemen, for our main event.
Right, as Slim Jim's leaving the ring.
If you would like to raise money for your school, club or civic group, and you'd like to see the excitement of union wrestling live in your hometown, then this message is for you. School PTAs, sports societies and teams, PE departments, civic groups or any groups wishing to raise money, then bring the stars of union wrestling to your town for a night of top-class wrestling action and receive a percentage of the gate. Email us with your inquiry at info@unionwrestling.co.uk for more information. Union Wrestling and your group, an unbeatable tag team.
Right then, ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event. It is Frankie Sloan versus Slim Jim Brennan. If Slim Jim wins tonight,
He won't win tonight! He won't win tonight!
Ever the gobby personality is Frankie Sloan,
if Slim Jim wins tonight and
but he's not.
beats
But he's not all talk.
Frankie
Frankie Sloan is one of the guys in wrestling who can match what he talks. His bark and his bite are just as equal as each other.
Then unfortunately Jim will leave with nothing. Right, are we ready? Right then, this contest will be wrestled over 6 4-minute rounds. There will be 2 falls to a finish. That's two submissions.
What this match means to Slim Jim is huge.
1 knockout or 1 disqualification.
This would be the first big accolade of Slim Jim Brennan's career here in the wrestling ring, going up against one of British wrestling's most prominent wrestlers of the last 30 years. Frankie Sloan has been all across the world and has done everything. He was a World of Sport wrestler on Saturday afternoons on ITV. He's been across the world in Japan, India, Turkey, Germany. He was a wrestler for Ottovans in the 90s. He wrestled in TNA 15-20 years ago, in America, the USA, Canada. And here he is in Union Wrestling, facing the young Slim Jim Brennan, here in the main event. Beat the champion. And that's very unfortunate mocking by Frankie Sloan now. Taking his time, getting into the heads of not just Slim Jim Brennan, but everyone at ringside. This is a very common tactic by Frankie Sloan. He lulls everybody into a false sense of security, makes it look like he's a slow, bumbling old wrestler, but I assure you he isn't. He's like a coiled adder, a snake of a guy. He will pounce at a moment's notice.
I think everybody else will be shouting Slim Jim. I don't need to. Slim Jim!
And there you have it. The crowd definitely in favour of Slim Jim Brennan over the veteran Frankie Sloan. And this is it. Frankie getting into the head of Slim Jim Brennan. And ladies and gentlemen, it is at this point I have to apologise that the camera filming this match ran out of battery. We are so sorry. We return at round 6, and during the previous 4 rounds, a fall apiece went to Jim Brennan and Frankie Sloan. 2 public warnings went against Frankie Sloan. Slim Jim's pinfall came in round 3 with an overhead jumping jack and roll up. Frankie Sloan's equalising fall came from a roll-up after a hurricanrana, but in those rounds he did gain 2 public warnings. So if Frankie Sloan gets 1 more public warning, he will be disqualified. And that's a roll with it by Slim Jim Brennan. We're at round 6. We're about a minute into round 6 as the camera came back on. And again, we do apologise. I'm so sorry that the footage is lost. Sorry, the technical difficulties. But Slim Jim Brennan has been putting on a massive fight. And this is Slim Jim was trying to put his finishing hold onto Frankie Sloan. But Frankie Sloan sends Slim Jim Brennan over the back, sailing to the canvas. And unlucky. And Slim Jim Brennan, he's going for it again. He's going for his finishing move again. If he gets this on, this could be £1,000 to Slim Jim Brennan. And he does. He gets his finishing move. And that's 3. That's the 3 count. And Slim Jim Brennan has just won. Beat the champion. He has won £1,000. Slim Jim Brennan is the undefeated champion. And the crowd are going wild. They're all coming down to ringside. This is unbelievable. Slim Jim Brennan has defeated everyone to win the £1,000. We'll be hearing from Slim Jim Brennan right after this. Hello Grapple fans, come and see a night of international professional wrestling in Wrexham on Friday 8th of August at the Havard Colliery Social Centre in Trwst Llanelligog. See the top stars of Union Wrestling including Joshua Kemper, the British heavy middleweight champion Slim Jim Brennan, Tommy Jupiter, Jesse Dynamite and many more. Tickets are available now at unionwrestling.co.uk. The price of a ticket is of the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge. Get your tickets now! And here is Slim Jim Brennan, the winner of Beat the Champion. It has taken 5 months to find this champion, the first ever Beat the Champion winner, first ever undefeated. He has beaten Rampage Brown, Jay Vertigo, Connor Maxson, Jimmy Jackson, Joshua Kemper, and now he beats the veteran Frankie Sloan to win the £1,000. Slim Jim Brennan is the winner, and this is fantastic. The right wrestler did win all through this match. Slim Jim Brennan was fighting hard for not just himself, not just for his reputation, not just for the win. He was winning it for his mother. He was winning it for all of his fans. He won this tournament based on the strength and support of everyone around him.
Rondo come for free. I fought for it, I worked for it, I earned it. Thank you.
And he's saying that if it wasn't for the crowd, he would never have earned this. And that's true. He has done this for every single one of his fans, for all of you at home. An absolute undefeated champion. He retires the undefeated championship, the Beat the Champion undefeated championship with a £1,000 prize. I'm sorry, this is brilliant to see. And calling down to the ring, probably Slim Jim Brennan's most avid fan, his #1 fan who's supported him from the beginning, is Mayor Ann Roberts MBE, you see at ringside. And we're just seeing what Jim is saying to Ann Roberts.
Ladies and gentlemen, Slim Jim Brennan is donating £100 to Mayor Ann Roberts Charity Fund this year.
£100 of the prize purse from Slim Jim Brennan goes to charity to...
is going to the Mayor's Charity Fund.
Mayor Ann Roberts.
Would you like to say anything to Slim Jim?
I'm really touched by it. I think you've been through so much to get this money, and you've so willingly given me the £100. Well, you can't get a better bloke than that. Thank you.
Well done. And before you go, And I'd just like to say thank you for your support and everything that you've done for us at Union Wrestling. I'd like to double that from Union Wrestling and give another £100 to the Mayor's charity, doubling it to £200. And can you just tell us what the charity is this year?
Give us a kiss first. My rank is in my age. I'm trying to raise enough funds to create a number of bursaries for young people in Ruthick for training. So any bursaries, not just uni or college. It could be heavy goods training, it could be hairdressing, it could be anything.
Wrestling.
And I'm asking them to just to write in to me, tell them what their hopes are for the future, and we'll have a look at giving them some money to help.
And there we have it. The charity of choice is one that supports young people into training of any kind, further education, and any form of training, including, as you heard from Marty Jones, wrestling training.
Possibly.
A great cause there to help the future generations of this country.
Maybe, yes, there may be a possibility
And
that Marty
great,
Jones may be the trainer
great
of
donation
a
there by
school in North
Slim Jim
Wales,
Brennan.
yeah, so potentially
Much appreciated.
any
Just shows the kind of character
wrestling
and guy that he is.
You might
Absolutely
be Slim Jim
selfless.
Brennan one day, winning
And
the
on next
winnings.
week's episode, we have international Japanese wrestling star Tamura Generation going one-on-one against wrestling's #1 grappler, Kevin Lloyd.
I believe there's a big boy named Josh Kemper waiting around the corner for me. I'm waiting right here in the middle of this ring for him.
So
And there we go. Slim Jim Brennan wants Joshua Kemper in a future match. But until then, that's it for this week, grappling fans. Bye-bye.
So there you go, well done. Right.